Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome everyone once again in this conversation on Ramayana. And in the previous classes, we were discussing about how the scripture is different, is free from all sorts of partitions that we see in nature, in today's nature. I mean, humans have bifurcated themselves on the name of caste, creed, culture, customs, and countries. But this scripture is free from all sorts of partitions that we make for ourselves. And along with this scripture, the one element that is related with this scripture, that Rama, that Lord, is free from all those sorts of partitions that we see around us. And from here, we get the knowledge, we get the true knowledge that God has never partitioned us on the basis of this caste, called creed, or anything else that we see around us. We have partitioned ourselves. God has only created humans and we created religions. He had only created good people, and we have diverged our directions and names of caste, called creed, and all those things, countries. He had only created this earth for people, for all creatures to live in peace, and we have created countries. So from this scripture, from this vast true knowledge, we gain the wisdom that whatever way we are separating us, it's not good. Wisdom and power remains in collectivity. When we are collective, when we work in collection, then whatever we gain in our life, it's the supreme thing. The power, the energy of the work and the result that we do collectively is a multiple thing that we can never gain privately, solely through our life. So in every verse, we could gain the knowledge, we could gain the truth that all the verses of this scripture somewhere tend towards humanity, tend towards uplifting us, because we are the people who have degraded ourselves, degraded our emotions, our feelings, our social behaviors, our brotherhood, our humanity, our humanitarian beliefs, thoughts, ideologies. And that's why this knowledge is most important in today's era. And so we should align ourselves to that. And that is the truth. That is the feeling of what Rig Veda says, Sangachadhvam Samvadadhvam. The mantras that we enchant in Rig Veda, they are not useless. They are not just futile things. They are not needlessly made without any purpose. They were all very much purposeful. They were all very much scientific, socially and naturally, by emotions and spiritually. Whenever all the good parts of humanity combine, only then we'd be able to create a spiritual world. Spirituality doesn't only mean that we are free from this world, free from the shackles, free from all this materialism. No, we would have to live in this materialistic world because we cannot avoid it. We cannot devoid our lives from these materialistic things, because these are the mediums to achieve spirituality. All the people that live around us are the medium. A relationship is a medium. Family is a medium. Society is a medium. Community is a medium. Country is a medium. The whole world, not only human, but all the creatures around us are a medium. Trees, plants, every system, the entire ecosystem is a medium. The entire nature is a medium. That's why we call nature mother, because it nourishes us. It brings us up. It is creating upbringing. We are brought up by this nature, by the soil, by the air, by the crops, by the fruits and vegetables that we eat. everything is given by nature. Why? Only to understand that these are all mediums. Even our body is a medium to achieve that goal. And that's why it is said, great people, spiritual people, awakened people say that if we are happy, it's the cause, it's the conclusion of everyone's good work. And if we are unhappy, it's solely the responsibility of ours. So never, and we do the opposite thing. We always create the opposite ideology. That I am unhappy because of him. I am unhappy because of her, them, anyone. And if anything happy, anything good, anything, well, appears in our life, then we take all those appreciations. We want to achieve all those appreciation of people only for us. No, we are happy because of this entire world. Everything, if you think it truly, if you think it from your heart, you'd feel that whatever we are today, wherever we are standing today, it's the work, is the hard work, labor, endeavor, persistence of many, many people. I am here, you are there. Everyone, you have achieved some 22, 23, 40, 50, whatever years of your lifespan, today you are. And wherever you are standing, you just feel how many people, how many things in this nature contributed for you to be where you are. Your father, your mother, your parents, your grandpa, your grandmother, your entire family, relatives, your aunt, your uncle, entire nature is uplifting you. So wherever you are, whatever happiness you are getting in your life is a contribution, is the conclusive work of every part of this nature. And if you achieve any unhappiness, any sort of sorrow, anxiety, never blame others. Because when you start taking responsibility of your own life, of your own bad conditions, then only you would uplift yourself. You would prepare yourselves to reverse that direction and ultimately traverse the ocean of sadness, of sorrow. Only when you take responsibility on yourselves that I am the cause of whatever sorrow appeared in my life, and now I would work to wash away, wipe away that sorrow, the cause of that sorrow. And then you start working. But if you start blaming others, somewhere you are giving the accountability on to that person to make you happy, and that is never gonna happen. No one is responsible for anyone. Okay? So take responsibility of your life, of whatever bad appears in your life. This is called a real human nature. Give the appreciation to everybody and take the blame, the bad things, bad conditions in your life, whatever they appear, take them as your own, and you work to reverse them. And that's how you gain the appreciation of people. It's the way. The more a person does renunciation, the more this whole world, the more this whole community, the whole society appreciates them. It's truly directly proportional. The more you renounce, the more you live for others, the more others will take care of yours. You do it one time, you do it one moment, one day, you'd see its instant results. Start living for others, work for others, live for the happiness of others, and you'd see the whole nature. Whatever you give in this nature, whatever you put in this nature, whatever you give to this nature, the nature returns you completely. You give happiness to this nature. The elements of nature, people, creatures, animals, birds, trees, plants, the whole ecosystem, the whole nature will work to make you happy. It's directly proportional if you're willing to understand it scientifically. So never blame others. And that's what the scripture is saying, that we free ourselves from all sorts of separations that we have created for ourselves. No, separation can bring happiness. Only collectivity can bring happiness. So start becoming a social thing. Start acting socially. Don't only remain confined to yourself when you're in a family. Don't only remain confined to your family when you're in society. Don't only remain confined to a society when you're living in a country. And ultimately, don't only remain confined to a country when we are and you are living in this entire world. Okay? You are a responsible person. You have the accountability to turn this entire world. This is the work and duty of every person, to take care of everyone. Then only would be able to say that we are world citizens. This is the ideology of becoming a world citizen. Where to start? Just start working for others. Just start thinking for others. Just start working for the happiness of others. Just work for the pleasure of others. And then you'd see how this society, how this community, how this entire world uplifts you. Everything you do comes back to you, whatever that is. So that scripture, this scripture is describing that truth. And in the next line, it says, Swarucha Prakashaha. That Almighty is in itself bright. I mean, He is a luminous thing. In science, we study that all these planets don't have lights of their own. Only stars have lights of their own. The same way, this thing, the supernatural power, the God, has light of its own, and we people are sparked by His light. We people understand the definition of light by the grace of God. We are enlightened by His grace, but He is always a light thing. He is always bright. He is always luminous. And by His grace, we are achieving the light of knowledge, the light of happiness, the light that showers on us every day, every sort of light, the light of life. This life, we are inhaling, exhaling, all the organs of our body are working systematically. Who is one that's holding this entire process? That's the light of God. That's the power of God. And here we get the truth that He is enlightened by Himself. I mean, He is in Himself a light, a bright light. And we all are achieving the light of life from Him, the light of knowledge from Him, the light of the truth from Him. And this is what the scripture is describing. And in the next line, the sage is saying, Sa Vikshate Sarva Purana Vedaihi. All these scriptures, all these good and spiritual texts, who is the one that all these scriptures are searching? That person, that entity, the Almighty. That one powerful Lord is the one who is searched by all the scriptures. All the scriptures are in search of Him. And that's how we would be able to search Him if we are leading our lives as commented by the scriptures, as told by the scriptures. And when we start aligning our lives with the scriptures, when we make our life parallel to the scriptures, then we would be able to gain the path and ultimately the direction and the destination of our life through the scriptures, through this knowledge, through this truth. So this entire knowledge, this entire texts that are made for us, we should move towards them. It's our work. A well, I mean, in previous times there were wells in villages. Okay, there were no motors or anything else in 100 years when we move hundreds or 200 years back. There were wells in villages. And what is said? A person who is thirsty moves towards well, towards a water source. Never the source of water comes to a thirsty person and quenches thirst. Okay? So we are thirsty. Our soul is thirsty. So we'd have to move towards the well, towards the water source to quench the thirst of our soul. And this is the source. This is the source. This is the ocean where we could quench our thirst, where our soul could pacify its thirst. And that's how the scripture is describing the truth, that it is in search of that ultimate truth. In fact, all the scriptures, all these knowledges are in search of that one single truth. And if we want to align ourselves to that truth, resonate with that truth, then we'd have to start following the directions that the scriptures direct us towards. Okay? So the scripture is saying that the scriptures, this religious, this spiritual textbooks are in search of that one God. And we would move towards Him only when we follow the scriptures, that we follow the rules and regulations and tenets of the scriptures, of this knowledge, of this vast path. And then next, some verses, what the sage is saying. I'm reading a word from the next verse. He says, Sarvan kaman avapnoti paratra amutra chottaman. So the sage is saying the person who follows this thing, this knowledge, what he becomes, he achieves all his desires. And when he uses this word desire, he adds an adjective to this word. Uttaman, good desires. A person with bad desire of harming anyone, read the scripture, he would not get the fruit of the scripture. And then he'd say, oh my God, I am not getting anything from the scripture. What I wanted, I had a desire, it's not fulfilling. So take care of how your desires are, what your desires are, what your aim is with the desires that you are making in yourselves. So these scriptures, these books, these religious books, I mean these spiritual books, if you have any query with speaking, for me speaking this word religious, these spiritual books, these Vedic books, scriptures fulfill all our good desires. And from here we get a point that never have such desires that anyway, any means, by any means, persecute people. Anyway, that harm the humanity on this earth. And that's why it is saying this word. All the good wishes, all your well wishes get fulfilled when you align your life to the scripture. Never have a tendency of dominating anyone. I mean, you should have this feeling that I become prosperous in life. I become a wealthy person in life. I mean, I want to be an affluent person. I want to have much and much money. Okay, this is a very good thing. Nothing in this world can be created without wealth, without prosperity, without money. You should have money, and you should have more and more and much money. There is no query in that. There is no offense in that. Okay, you should have money. But this thought that I should be wealthy and I should be dominating this world and all other people should be lower than me, this thought is not good. This is a devastating thought. Horrific. It creates unhappiness in your life, and when one element of the society is unhappy, he'd shower unhappiness everywhere. Because we give anyone, let's say, you're giving someone money. How did you give that money? Because you had that money with you. You gave water to a thirsty person. You gave food to a person who had appetite. How were you able to give that food and water? Because you had in storage, in your stock. It was stockpiled in your house. But if you didn't have food or water, how would you have been able to give food and water to any person who had appetite or who had thirst? So we give the things that we possess. If you have hatred in you, if you have unhappiness in you, then you'd never be able to give peace or happiness to the society. So always have good desires for other people, then only you would be able to work in a friendly manner towards other people without having any apathy towards anyone, without having any enviousness towards anyone, without having any hatred towards anyone. So then anything is possible. When you're acting this way, then anything is possible. You try it. Just 1 month, you give your life to this work, you live this entire life. 20 years, 30 years, whatever age are you, whatever age you have just passed, you have lived your life in many different ways. You would have lived that life. But now, on my suggestion, on my opinion, live this life. On this, the opinion of this cryptic knowledge, live your life. Just live this life only for 1 month, and then you'd see the changes that have occurred in your life. The miraculous changes that you felt were impossible would become possible. The meteoric changes in your life that would qualify your life, and you'd feel that this was the path. Why was I dismissed? Why was I derailed from this path? I would have come to this path, this knowledge, more before. This is the true knowledge. This is the true thing. And when we have this feeling, when we have generated this feeling that everyone is great, everyone is equal, and everyone are the sons and daughters of the Almighty, then we have no hatred, no apathy towards anyone. And this is the root cause to make a good society, to make a good community, and ultimately a good world. This is what the sage is saying. The prosperity, God is a prosperous entity. He has everything, and that's why he is able to give us everything he has. He gave us this earth, sunlight, moonlight, water, food. Everything is given by someone. All these things that we see around us is not an evolution. It's a creation by someone who has a great creative ability, and that is the ultimate creator. He has made everything for us, and now he is a prosperous person, and we people are the sons and daughters of him. And we have every person, everyone on this earth have equal rights to get everything as you do. Everyone has equal rights to get everything. And the person who feels that everything is for me can never be a human, can never be a true person. Everything is for everybody. And when we generate this feeling that everyone is great, everyone is equal, everyone are the sons and daughters of the Almighty, and everyone has the right to get everything, whatever exists on this planet, according to their hard work, according to their endeavor, according to their tenacity, persistence, then this world becomes a good place. And this is our work, this is our duty to make this world a better place for everyone. So today we discuss some deep knowledge of the scripture, and I wish you would turn the tide of your life, you would turn the direction of your life towards true path, towards good path. And taking this hope in my mind, in my entire existence, I wish to God, I pray to God that every person on this earth aligns his life to this vast Vedic knowledge, which always says, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. It prays for everyone. It prays for the welfare of everyone. So with a hope, with a prayer that every person becomes a greater person by mind, by emotion, by work, and by his heart. I'm ending this class, and everyone, take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and help make this planet a better place for everyone. Thank you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.